Welcome. This is Becoming Blue, where we learn the genius and the why behind students at Brigham Young University. My name is Robbie.
And I'm Rock. And our first guest on the podcast series is Zack Hada, our AI genius. This was made for BYU students.
By BYU students. We hope you enjoy.
Boom.
Cool.
Alrighty.
Nice.
Well, welcome to Becoming Blue, Zack. We're super glad to have you on here with us. Let's start off. Rock, you got a good question to start us off with?
Yeah, for sure. Before I get into the question, I guess I can just kind of like introduce you, and like who you are.
For sure.
Yeah. So, Zack and me are actually from the same exact place in California, and we actually met post-mission, and have been super good friends since. We love to surf together and hang out. He's a super chill guy, super relaxed. But something that is so cool about Zack that I loved was your passion for AI. And so, like, right when we had this idea, actually, Robbie and I were at FSY, working FSY together. And
Fort Collins represent.
Fort Collins, yeah. And we just had this thought, like, what if there was a podcast at BYU where we just brought on people that were so smart and intelligent and whatever they did just to inspire others. And so right when we had that idea, your name come to my mind. And yeah, dude, we're so excited to have you, and it's all about you, man.
Yeah, well, I'm happy to be here. I've never been on a podcast before.
Neither have we.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a
all
first,
fresh.
and we're excited, and we're grateful that you're the first guest.
Yeah,
so.
well, I think the idea is sweet because I know a lot of people personally that are like, I don't know what I want to do for my major. Like, nothing makes me passionate besides like playing Fortnite. Like few people say that, but yeah, I feel like super blessed that I've found something that I'm passionate about, and if like my story could help like inspire other people who are looking for something that makes them passionate, that will help them like contribute to building God's kingdom or just contribute to like the world economy in general, then it's awesome. I'm happy to share my story.
Sick, dude.
Yeah.
Well, I guess we could start and just ask you, like, why AI? And for those who don't know Zack, he is like so passionate about AI. Like, if you're in a conversation with him, he has to integrate AI into every conversation. But it's so sick.
Yeah, with me, there's like a timer. Sometimes like talking to a person, like I'm like, okay, just like small talk here and there. And eventually I'll talk about AI. I'm like, oh, what are you doing? They're like, oh, I'm studying film. I'm like, oh, how is AI affecting your industry? I just love talking about it. It's easy for me to talk about. Yeah.
So why AI though?
Why AI? That's a great question. I guess we can start initially at my love of computer science. Like I've always loved math. There's like that YouTube channel called like Number File. I don't know if you guys have watched it, but it's just like math videos. My mind is just like kind of works that way, and computer science is pretty mathematical. And so I took computer science in high school. I had this professor named a teacher. His name was Mr. Keys, and he was a funny guy, but he was passionate about computer science. And he like really instilled that love of computer science with me as well. And I like learned to really love it. And I remember there was one, I'm never going to forget this class. I can remember where I was sitting and not what I was wearing, but just kind of like the whole situation. Cause it kind of, it was somewhat of a spiritual experience, I would say. But we were in class and he was talking about this concept called abstraction. And essentially what abstraction is, if anyone like codes out here, it's like the concept that you can like make something smaller work and put those smaller things together and make something bigger. And you can tie big things together and make something even bigger. Essentially, like you don't have to understand all the small like different methods you're calling in programming, but you can just like kind of abstract away the minute details, and that allows you to gain like super impressive capabilities within your program because
So
of that
it's just
principle of
like a
abstraction.
less technical like version of coding essentially.
Well, yeah, abstraction kind of applies to like everything in life. But like, for example, like when I order on Amazon, I guess like there's an element of abstraction there. I'm not like involved in every aspect of the delivery or the warehouse, right? Like I don't have to care about all those small things. And programming is kind of similar. It's like when I'm making my programs at work, I make an API call to OpenAI, or like I download a library on my computer that allows me to like gain some functionality within my code. And I don't have to understand how all of that code works. All I have to know is that it works, and then I can use it. And you kind of just like build up these layers of abstraction to come up with like programs that have like very, like crazy capabilities. And so I explained that bad. He explained it in a way that like really like hit me, and it was weird. Like I started like tearing up, like I was having like a spiritual experience. Like I was reading my scriptures, or I was like in the temple. It was super trippy. And then yeah, ever since then, I feel like I've had some sort of calling in the world of like computer science, or maybe just a simple way to put it is like simplifying complex problems. And I think my passion is providing simple solutions to complex business problems. And AI is the best way to do that. So to answer your question, why AI? It's to solve complex problems simply. Yeah.
I love that. This is it's a new day and age we live in, right?
Mm-hmm.
One of my roommates was talking about like, we grew up with iPads and things like that, but our kids are going to grow up with AI.
Yeah.
Which is just an interesting, like they'll always live in a world where AI was there.
Yeah.
And for me, it's interesting of how technology has just changed the aspect of the world. I think that's where a lot of people are really, they're just ignorant, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like lacking basic understanding and knowledge.
Yeah.
But where do you feel like the future of AI will just change regular daily life, where technology has just dramatically changed, our lives, right, as we've grown up? But like what will AI do, you feel?
Yeah, that's a great question, and it's a hotly debated subject within the AI community. There's a concept called AGI, or artificial general intelligence. That's essentially a computer that's as smart as like any human, and like the actual like what that actually entails in terms of like like a large language model or like some neural network that's just as smart as anyone is like pretty vague. And so we don't know exactly, like it's hotly debated. But I think like personally, based off all the podcasts I've listened to, like the smartest AI researchers are saying like within the next 10 years, we're going to have something that feels like superhuman intelligence. But what I can maybe shed light on is how AI has affected my life and how it has made me more effective as a person. And I think AI can be very scary to a lot of people. I mean, like some people have some sort of like a little bit of a bias against it. I think maybe I see that especially with teachers, because they're kind of insecure because it's like their job's almost getting taken away. Like, what is the purpose of me, or of all the learning I've done to like become a great essay writer, or to learn all this syntax in C++, which is a really like technical coding language, if like AI can just do it for me? And which is kind of sad, because I think AI is amazing and very powerful, and it has the power to help a lot of people. And so I think understanding AI, like me, when AI gets smarter, it makes me super happy. Like Google is about to come out with a new AI model in the next few months, and like when it comes out, that's gonna be like one of the best days of my year, because it just stokes me out. But with me specifically, I think, well, I use AI like every day in my job, and just to help me learn. So I think in the future, you could start seeing artificial intelligence that's able to like creatively solve problems and come up with like nuanced and like novel solutions. If anyone's interested, you can look into Alpha Evolve, Google's program that uses like it's an AI program that kind of uses the principles of evolution to come up with novel solutions to problems. But yeah, I think pretty soon, like frighteningly soon, we're going to see AI that's able to develop itself. And then we're going to have models that are smarter than any human that can like reason through stuff and come up with new scientific discoveries that we can't even understand ourselves.
Dude, that's so trippy.
Uh-huh.
And so like you talk about AI progressing,
Yeah.
but like when you talk about AI progressing, like what does that even mean? Like does it just mean
Yeah.
it's getting more data in these data centers that these super large companies are creating, or like what does
Yeah.
it even mean?
That's a great question. So the fundamental architecture of AI is just a neural network, and it's inspired by the neurons in our brain. And all it is input. You have a bunch of layers, and then output. But and that architecture isn't changing, like from like GPT-1 to GPT-5. It's all just neural networks, and large language model is a type of a neural network. But what made so like the concept of a large language model has been around for like decades, but what made it possible is the hardware. So that's why NVIDIA, you've seen, go up in value so much over the past 10 years, is because their hardware and their GPUs allows AIs doing a lot of like computations at the same time, and GPUs are able to do those computations. And so as the hardware has gotten to the point where it enables AI to be as good as it is. And so the hardware, I mean, we see Facebook, Google, Elon Musk, they're spending billions of dollars on data centers. So, and the hardware is getting better and better every year. So you're able to do more computations in less time. So that's one aspect. The hardware is improving. The second aspect is just algorithms and ways that you approach AI. So like a big concept that really improved large language models, which is like ChatGPT, was the concept of attention. And so like to not get too technical, like ChatGPT, it just like predicts the next word of like what you're gonna say, and that's based on like a big, like all the words that you told it before, like, and so what attention does is able to like change the weights or assign different importance to different words, just like we do. Because like if you said like the cat climbed up the tree, like the isn't that important. Like climbed, cat, and tree. That's maybe a bad example, but like you're essentially like encoding meaning with attention. And so that was an example of like making a new advancement, an algorithmic concept that improved the capabilities of like modern AI models. There's a reinforcement learning is another way that people have been, there's like tons, and there actually just this week there was 2 papers that came out that there's a group in Germany that they're able to use context, or they're able to feed more information into the AI model, so give it more context at like 6,000 times efficiency of like the models right now. And that's like hard to actually put into practice. But yeah, so there's all these. So yeah, the first one is hardware. The second one is like just like ideas that humans have to optimize the neural
like new
networks.
algorithms, kind of like the cat scenario you're talking, like the cat sentence.
Yeah,
scenario
yeah.
you're talking
Attention
about.
is a big
attention.
one. And then you can also like there's all these hyperparameters within the neural networks. You could say like how many layers do we want? You could say what's the batch size? Like you can get in. There's a bunch of technicalities like neural networks. It's a huge, like machine learning is a very big industry, and like the smartest people in the world are like all involved in it. So yeah, we have hardware, algorithms, and the third thing, like you said, would be data. And so that's why Scale AI, I don't know if you've heard about them, but Facebook just bought them for billions and billions of dollars. He just hired Alexander Wang for insane amounts of money. And Scale AI, all they're doing is hiring humans to make really good data for AI models, among many other things. And so yeah, we're creating more data. We have robots are going to become very prevalent in coming years, and you have YouTube, which is like the best. That's like a huge data set that has been like untouched as of now. So I think we're going to see robotics.
Wait, what
really
do you mean
come into
untouched?
fruition as well? Like we haven't really trained models on like all the video data on YouTube.
Oh, okay.
But it's
Like,
all there.
because it's a
Yeah.
lot to watch.
Uh-huh.
And put it
But I mean,
into a system.
ChatGPT has already been trained on the whole internet, and so,
Yeah.
so that's why like scale is important, and like, but there's more data and like more efficient ways to train models on that data, and so, yeah, all the top AI researchers, they don't really see a cap on on AI and its progression. So it's just kind of been like a linear, exponential to linear progression of model capabilities, and every single model that drops, they're just destroying benchmarks and improving really, really fast. And there's a lot of money in it. So yeah, it's going to be frightening how good it gets. And I think it's probably, I mean, Jensen Huang says it's like the most important thing for students to learn how to use AI. And I think it's just anyone needs to learn about this, because it's going to affect our lives so much. It's going to change the world. It's going to turn our world into sci-fi. And like, if you're just ignoring it, like I don't like ChatGPT, it's scary. Like, I guess you can do it, but you know, when the world changes, like you don't, it's like the Bob Dylan song, "The times are changing." Like, you want to be ahead of the times changing. You don't want to be like left behind. And so that's partly why I'm so passionate about it.
That's super interesting. And I think like a question that maybe a lot of people who are watching this are going to think to themselves is like, these LLMs and big data center companies kind of have control of the whole industry, right? And what I'm kind of taking is like, for us, or for people trying to get into the AI game, like, what does that mean, right? Because obviously you're not going to create a model that's better than Chat or Gemini or something, right?
Billions of dollars.
Yeah. So like, could you maybe teach us like, how do we even integrate all of this into like a business setting?
Interesting. Yeah, I think right now is kind of similar to like the .com boom, like the inception of the internet, where like, you know, and there was the .com bubble, if people are aware of that. Like, people called it the internet kind of like a sort of bubble, because like people were, I mean, if you put .com at the end of your company, then you'd get a ton of venture capital investment. And people are saying AI is just a bubble right now because there's so much investment going into AI. But like, so that people call the internet a bubble, and it was like those stocks eventually went down. But like, look at the internet now. The internet is like a huge part of our lives, and AI, like, it's getting so much investment, and people said like it was a bubble, and like, I guess the stocks went down for like a little bit. But AI is going to be even more transformative than the internet. It's like electricity. It'll affect every single part of our lives. And so every single business is going to be affected eventually. And so I think the best way I think a really important thing is to build an intuition of how it works and its capabilities. And I think the best way to do that is to use it to solve problems. And I think school gives you a good opportunity to use AI and to help it maybe utilize as much as you can to help you study and learn new skills, maybe do tasks for you. Right now, I mean, there's really good, there's a company called Replit that allows you to code using essentially plain English. So you can like come up with any idea of like any sort of website, software, app you want to create. You can use Replit and just type English, just chat to it like you're like talking to like a genius like coder, and like build like a very powerful app like within like minutes using only English. You don't even have to know how to code. And so I think, you know, what I would tell people to do is that, like, use AI as much as possible, use it to help you learn. And then if you want to get into, you can learn how to code and then start using Replit, and then also learn how it works, like understand how neural networks work and the input and how the weights work and how the parameters are updated and the back propagation and the gradient descent and all that. Just maybe like at a high level, like 3 Blue 1 Brown has a really good YouTube series on YouTube. But I also understand like not all people are like nerds like me. And so, but even like someone who's not nerdy can still like go download Replit and code something really cool and understand how AI works. Yeah.
Absolutely. Well, that's a great explanation for a lot of what you've been able to share, at least for me, not having like much knowledge at all. I feel like I'm probably the average college student that's like, oh man, I want to know, but I'm a little scared, but like I know it's super important. It's going to change the world, right?
Yeah.
It's already doing that. But when we come back from this break, we'll learn more about your own personal story and background, kind of with guiding with this, but also how you're applying this in your own future career and things like that.
Great. Yeah.
We'll be right back.
All right. Excited.
Thank you for joining us so far on Becoming Blue.
We hope you continue to be inspired as Zack shares his perspective on job automation
and how he hopes to use his skills to build the kingdom of God. Stay tuned for part 2 of this podcast.
To get back into it, Zach,
Yeah.
I guess we were kind of talking off screen a little bit of now how this is applying to like your future career. Like, what things are you looking to do to apply AI into, your pursuit of causing change in this
And
world?
becoming blue.
Becoming blue,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Becoming blue, yeah.
Well, yeah.
Or like right now, like not even in the future, yeah.
Mhm. Yeah. Well, I think maybe to give some more context, I'll probably end up going back. But also, Rock also mentioned off camera, it's like AI. Everyone's saying like AI this, AI that. Like AI is going to change the world. But a lot of people, I'm sure, like, how is AI going to change my company? How am I going to implement AI as an entrepreneur? And I think that is like a very valid question, and it's like very vague. To people that like don't have experience with AI. And what I was telling Rock is like what the two things you need is like technical expertise and business context. So like within 10 years, like I would put a lot of money betting on the fact that all computer work gets automated. So anything you can do on a computer is going to be done by AI. And so like within those 10 years, like you think about all the businesses where people just go into work and they go in their cubicle and they patter away at a laptop, right? And so within 10 years, all AI is going to be able to do all of that. And so what you're going to need is, in order to implement AI, is you're going to need business context. You need to understand what those people, when they go in the cubicle, what do they do and like how the business works. And you're going to need to understand the technical aspects of AI and how you're going to implement AI to solve that problem. And so I think that could, like once people get the technical expertise with AI and they like have like a chosen profession, they work for a company, then they will be able to like, answer that question of like, how am I going to use AI?
Okay.
Mhm.
So like with my basic understanding of AI
Yeah.
in my IS 201 class,
Okay.
they teach us that like it's not going to replace humans, it's just going to require upskilling of back office work. And so like at what point is it actually going to replace humans, right? Cuz like not all jobs are automated or software jobs,
Yeah.
right?
Well, I think the answer to that question is like, I don't know. Like, it's definitely going to change all our work. I think most people in the industry and most leaders, like CEOs of like AI companies and stuff, they don't think it's going to like destroy all jobs and no one's going to have a job. It's going to create more jobs, like more new jobs. Like you think of like after the internet, there wasn't like a big job shortage because like people got more effective, but like there were more jobs that created because of the internet. Same thing with like the Industrial Revolution, there were the Luddites that like didn't like that their work, they weren't needed to go like, sew away with their hands. And so they would go into the factories and they would burn the looms or whatever they were called that would like make the clothing like way faster than any human could. And so they were mad because they like lost their jobs, but that was very short term. In the long term, after the Industrial Revolution, everyone had a job. So I hope, and I think it's going to be something similar to that. So yeah, hopefully that answers your question.
When I'm in American Heritage right now,
Yeah.
so I'm sorry to any of the viewers that are enduring with me, but we're learning about like the economy, different things like that, and like John Adams and his emphasis on specialization, that further like technological advancements. And so this seems like, do you feel like everyone will be able to apply these changes within AI in their own companies? So like for me personally, I'm pursuing nutrition as a career. Like how do you see AI helping me be more efficient and specialized in my profession?
Well, it kind of goes back to what I was saying about business context is like, I don't know very much about the nutrition major and what nutritionists do, but I do have the AI expertise. So, like if I did shadow you at work for 6 months, I'm sure I could give you like a really in-depth answer. But yeah, I think, it's kind of happening no matter what. Like the AI revolution, it's happening and there's nothing you can do to stop it. And I think all these businesses are going to, like, the entire economy is going to get flipped on its head. And so I think we just have to be proactive about learning about AI so we don't get left behind, essentially.
Okay. So you said if you shadowed somebody, you could be able to essentially automate their business or integrate AI.
Yeah.
So I know you've been working
Yeah.
for a certain company for a little bit, right? And you're working on a certain project right now. Share it with us.
Yeah, I would love to. That was like the biggest thing I want to talk about. So, because I'm really passionate about it.
Dude, please ask about this my business.
Well, okay, it all started. I got this job like a year and a half ago, and what we do is we're private money lenders to real estate builders. So, like especially with the way the economy is right now, banks aren't really lending to real estate builders, and so there's kind of like a big what's it called? There's just like a gap for private money lending to fill in. And so what our company does is like if someone wants to build a house, but they don't have, no builder, like construction builder is just going to like pay it for the entire construction all themselves. So we like give them money with interest. But in the private money lending industry, there's a lot of legal regulation and many different like variables, many different fields, and very document heavy. And so one of the first projects I was working on at my company is we have this file called a loan structuring tool. And it's just an Excel file that includes all of the more important fields, like important information about the loan that we're doing. So it'll have like loan to value, it'll have the loan amount, it'll have payoff points, just all like the private money lending terms in this Excel file. And so we didn't know, and we had all these Excel files, and we found a way to like kind of aggregate the data in one of the sheets of the Excel file. But like we didn't know how to get all the, to stack that data on top of each other, because we needed all this data in like a big dashboard. So we could like run statistics, be like, okay, for all of the loans we funded in California, like how many loans did we fund in California, or like what was the average loan amount of like loans in Los Angeles, or like how many loans did we fund from like September 12th to September 18th, 2024, right? And so my boss was like, hey, I want you to go into all these Excel files, copy all this data, paste it into another sheet, and just do that. And it would take like hours and hours. And I was like, this is very error prone too, because I would have to make sure I formatted the data correctly for it all to work. And so very quickly I was like, this isn't going to work. And so I started with a software called Power Automate. I kind of hate Power Automate now that like I like know how to code with and like use AI. But I like kind of made it somewhat of a system that was able to automate this process, but it was kind of janky. And so I had the idea in my head. What I needed to do is like connect, without getting too technical, was to connect to our company's database, set a bunch of criteria, so the program would know like which folders it would have to go through and how to find the loan structure, the LST files, the loan structuring tool, like the files that I'm pulling data from. And so that was the first part of the program. The second part of the program is to extract the data from those documents. And the third part of the program was like kind of like combining all of that data and showing it in like a clean report. And so I had the idea in my head, like I knew how it was going to work. I had the business context, like I was talking about earlier. And it was
Is that why you were hired in the very beginning? Was just to do the simple
busy work?
The busy work.
Yeah, I mean, I was an intern, so they just kind of, interns tend to just get like the busy work jobs that.
Did you intern intending to integrate AI into that though?
No, like I loved coding, but I never knew that. Well, this wasn't really like an AI, I guess, solution. It was all like it was just normal basic code. But like so, I've coded like 3 years in high school. I was like pretty decent at coding, I would say. And what I did is I explained my entire business problem to AI. I think it was like ChatGPT 3.5 at the time. and I had it write a Python program for me. And because I had the business context, I was able to like use abstraction to break this bigger problem down into like separate small problems, right? And I also had like an understanding of programming, so I knew what to prompt the AI and like how to break it down into simple problems that I knew the AI could understand and write me a solution for. And I remember the first time I gave it like a big prompt. I was like, okay, this is exactly what I want you to do. Like, this is how I want you to extract the data from all these files. And I sent it to ChatGPT and it generated all the code and it worked. And this would have taken me like a week to code by myself. And so after that, it was like one of those, it was definitely like a pivotal moment right there when I was like, whoa, I like got chills. I was like, this is crazy. It just did a week of work in like 30 seconds and it works. Like the data was all there. It worked. And it was insane. And so it took a bunch of more iteration and like understanding of the problem to get like it actually like productionalized in our company. But now, like at our company, we're still using that code that I wrote with ChatGPT 3.5 years ago. We just did $1 billion in volume. That means we gave our borrowers $1 billion. So like
Wow.
we're like we have like 80 employees now. Like we're like a pretty decently sized company, and they're still using the code that I wrote like a year and a half ago on ChatGPT to aggregate all of our data. And so like since then, I've kind of just been like the AI automation guy at our company, and I've been just like working on a bunch of like automating a bunch of tasks. And as like I've kind of progressed, you know, and like the tasks have gotten more complicated, but the AI models have also improved as well.
Absolutely.
And so yeah, right now I'm working on some really cool projects too, like using AI as well.
I have a question of like privacy. I think that might
Mm-hmm.
be one of the big holdbacks for a lot of people. Of
Yeah.
Like knowing if your data is secure, if like your questions or things that you're asking is being respected, right? Like data protection laws and things like that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so at our company, we have like a corporate account for OpenAI, and also actually with one of the programs I'm working on, we use Gemini, but I just use my personal account and get it refunded. We're actually going to make a company account, but that's besides the point. Anyways, but all these companies, if you have like a paid account and like you have settings that you can choose, and like they don't share your data, they don't use their model, they don't use your data for training. Like, I mean,
Like, does it get stored somewhere?
like the data, I don't know exactly how their database is managed, and there is an element of trust involved because, like, yeah, they could probably be using our data if, you know, and like there's really no way we can know. But, like the top companies like OpenAI, Google, they're pretty trustworthy.
And the
yeah.
lawsuits they would get if it came out too, if they were
Yeah,
selling
it
our
would be
data,
massive.
they'd get
They'd be cooked. Yeah, yeah. So I mean, I'm very pro AI, so I trust it with my data, but they all also have like many rules and regulations in place to make sure that your data is secure. Right now, we're dealing with very sensitive information about our borrowers, and we're sending that to the AI, and we trust the AI with that because of like these compliance certifications that Google and OpenAI have.
Super sick. Yes, I think it's so cool that like you had that internship and then you just like found something you loved and integrated into the business.
Mm-hmm.
And it's cool that you love AI. I think not a lot of people love AI, so
and they're just it's so novel
at least like
to it,
understanding
right?
it. Yeah.
It's hard, and I guess kind of what comes to mind for me is like what, you know, BYU's motto, you know, enter to learn, go forth to serve.
Yeah.
You know, what ways do you feel like you'll be able to use this, you know, passion of yours of AI to and applicable to your career as well to make a difference and to help cause, you know, the true impact that we're seeking and that we know that this world needs?
Yeah, that's a perfect follow-up question, actually. And you know, I mean, it maybe if I was like putting myself in the viewer's shoes, it'd be like, oh, like this guy, he just wants to like automate everyone's job. Why would he be passionate about that? You're like destroying people's jobs. But that's not really how I think about it. It's actually not how I think about it at all. I mean, right now, what I'm doing at my job and what makes me love it so much is like right now I'm doing like a loan document validation tool. And so we're extracting fields from all these documents, comparing it against another database. In the past, our employees would have to do that manually. They'd have to scroll through all these documents and be like, okay, what is this? What is this? Like very manual, repetitive, like rote tasks that weren't fun, and they weren't like meaningful, right? And so the fact that I'm able to automate this allows our company, one, to grow faster, and then two, our employees are more happy because they don't have to do all these like boring tasks. And so I think definitely in the short term, AI implementation is like stoking people out. They're like, whoa, this like thing with my job that I hated doing is just getting done with AI. And so I think like that's what makes me passionate. It's like the best feeling for me when I like, I'm sitting down with our employee, like they're walking me through their workflow, showing me their pain points, and I essentially translate all that into like an AI program that can like do this manual task for them. And
Or like gratifying, huh?
yeah. And then when I show them the program and it works, they're super stoked, and that makes me super happy because they're like, whoa, like you can do this, and it like saves our company money. And like we just hired like 4 attempts to like do loan document validation, in which my program's going to take that all away. Like we're saving the company money. And also like I think depression, is on the rise, maybe partly because people, sit in a cubicle and do a bunch of like manual tedious work on their computer. So that's why I'm passionate about it. And I really think that using technology, we do have the opportunity, like if implemented with like strong principles of like morality and like very good values, that you can improve the lives of people greatly. Yeah.
That's super powerful. Where do you see yourself long term?
Long term?
I think we have like a few minutes left, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Couple
yeah.
minutes.
I mean, I would like to eventually start my own company or found my own company with some, I think I would.
And sorry, follow-up question, like,
Yeah.
where do you see yourself long term, and how do you think this could bless the kingdom of God?
Like me, how would my career bless the kingdom of God?
Just like you, like, what do you want to do that's going to bless the kingdom of God with your knowledge and
what I
passion
wanna
of
do,
AI?
I mean, I like ideally I would, get some more technical experience, get some more business context like I was talking about, and then build a company, sell it, hopefully for a lot of money, and then use my money for good. Something I want to do is fund the missions and college expenses of people from third world countries, converts from third world countries. Like I served in Thailand. There's a lot of very poor people that exercise a lot of faith and are very active members of the church. And I would give those people the opportunity to serve a mission and also to go to college for free. So that's what I'd like to do with my money if I got it.
I love that. Do you feel like AI can work in like missionary work too?
Yeah, probably.
Yeah, in some
Maybe.
way.
I mean, I don't think AI can like speak with the spirit, so I don't think it's going to teach our lessons for us, but we'll see.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, how do you feel like your mission kind of maybe helped lead you down this path too, if it impacted anyway?
I don't know if my mission directly led me to AI, but I think the mission is a huge blessing in the sense of it like really helped me like use my time wisely and think like, okay, like this time that I'm using, like I never watch like TV shows or like movies by myself anymore, because like our time is very valuable, and it helped me like realize that I should be like consecrating my time to something that like benefits others. And so I would say in that sense, yeah, it like has helped me like gain a better work ethic. That's like probably led me to where I am.
So cool, man. Well, thanks, Zach. That was awesome.
You're welcome.
Yeah, that was super powerful. We're grateful for your genius. And yeah, I'm sure a lot of guys are going to be inspired because of this.
Yeah.
So,
well, thanks for having me.
yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah, stoked.
Thank you for joining us on this episode of Becoming Blue with Zack Hada. Rock, what are some things that you learned?
I learned that Zack has a deep passion for AI, and whether it be AI or any walk of life, passion can lead you to inspiration and help you to be an instrument in the hands of our Heavenly Father. What did you learn, Robbie?
I feel like I learned that AI is something that I can start to integrate more into my personal life as a student, as well as in a potential career, right? Of finding ways to integrate it because it's going to change the world. And it's already starting to do that, like Zack said. But yeah, that's what I learned.
We believe that all of us are children of God and all of us have a purpose. And all of us are destined to find a passion and be instruments in the hands of God. And hopefully this was inspiring for you guys.
Absolutely. And we invite you to seek that passion, seek the genius within each of us that we all have. And please stay tuned for next episode.